Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 497. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Friday, the 21st of August. We are still recording separately and probably will for a while because Laura is back to school, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what percentage of your kids do virtual and what percentage you're doing in person, but
We're around 60-40. So like 60% are doing virtual, 40% are in the building. It's hard because it fluctuates every day.
yeah.
Because people are changing their mind. So, and it's actually people are changing their mind to send kids back into the building more than they're flipping to virtual. So
Yeah.
it changes daily, but there's at least like 500 kids in my building, I would
Yeah.
say.
And, even though Laura's taking all the right precautions, we're just being as safe as we can. So, yeah, so I expect we'll
Yeah,
probably be recording separately for a little while until the pandemic is actually under control.
in Mississippi.
Yeah. So, this is generally a show about knitting and spinning and
Crafting.
crafting in general. So, would you like to go talk
I
about what you're
can.
working on?
I'm only working on two things currently. I'm still working on the bounce blanket. I might try to really hard to get this done this week. So I'm about to start the fourth repeat of color number 3, and I have 2 more to do. So each repeat takes me around an hour and a half. Um, so it's a little bit of an investment, and this is the Bounce Blanket by Tin Can Knits. I'm knitting it on size 6. I'm knitting it on fixed Licca needles, 32-inch length. The blanket itself is going to be around a 30 by 30. It's supposed to be a car seat slash stroller blanket. And the person who it is for has gotten several larger blankets, so she requested that size. She requested that size and like size 1 and up if I do like sweaters or hats or anything. Sorry, I just hit my headphones. That moved my camera. Um, so more, I've already knit some newborn stuff for her and given it to her earlier in the year. So yeah, that is the first thing that I'm working on. It is out of Neighborhood Fiber Company. The turquoise is in a Shades of Turquoise gradient pack. It's 100% superwash merino, Studio DK. This comes in a pack that's 720 yards and 10.7 ounces. I got that at Maryland Sheep and Wool a couple of years ago. It's actually funny because this is my friend who went to Baltimore with me last fall, and I like broke off from the group and went to Neighborhood then. I got to visit Neighborhood. So, and then the green is Belair, and both of these are in Studio DK. So I have 2 skeins of this. I don't even know that I'm going to break into the second skein. So that'll be nice for a baby sweater of some kind. I can use that with the extra, because I'm not using every single little bit. I have about this much left over in each
Of each of
color.
the
Yeah.
blues.
So probably like 50 yards. And right now, this is how much of the green I have left. So I might break into the second one. We'll see. It's going to be close. And that's living in my Fat Squirrel unicorn bag that I got at SSK in 2019.
Yep.
So that's the first thing on my needles. And the second thing is also in a Fat Squirrel bag that I bought at SSK. This one was bought in like 2017, I want to think. And that is the Socks on a Plain Socks. So still not that far in. These are being knit out of Long Dog yarns, and they're being magic looped on size 0 needles. And the pattern is Socks on a Plain. It's got this little cable. This is the second one. The first one is somewhere. I keep burying stuff over here. Got a pile back there. So this is the first one that I knit back in like May. So I need to get the second one done so that I can knit Halloween socks next. But yeah, those are my 2 works in progress. What are you working on, friend?
Not a lot. I don't know what happened this week, but I just really did not knit a lot. I went on call, but that was just yesterday, so I can't even blame it on that.
That's
I
next
just
week's.
that's next week's excuse, so be ready for that. I did crochet. I crocheted all of. I was working on a red skein of yarn. I'm working on a granny square blanket, and I'm using this acrylic yarn from Michaels called Impeccable. And last week I was working on a red one, so I finished the red skein. So that was somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 squares. Sometimes it's 27, sometimes it's 24. I didn't count them, but so I finished those, and now I'm starting on this sort of a mushroom grayish color, and it's called Putty.
It's pretty.
I've got, I don't know, 4
Just
or
got the
5 done.
hiccups.
6. I've got 6 done, and I'm working on the 7th one. This is just my brainless. I've got 10 minutes craft, so I don't have to think too hard about it. I didn't work at all on the Shadow Lines Suzanne Summer wrap.
You knit some squares.
I did, but those are my finished objects, so
Oh,
don't
okay.
jump ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't look that far down.
So, and then I have news on the sampler front. So last week,
Ooh.
you guys will have heard, if you watched the podcast last week, I am working on this old sampler that was distributed in
Do
1972.
you have it up there so you
I
can show?
don't.
Okay.
I showed it last week, but nothing changed from last week, so I didn't bring
Okay.
it up here. I didn't work on it at all this week, but I was looking for this color of thread from a company that is no longer in business called Perry Lusta and hasn't been in business since the 80s. And I got several people who, commented on YouTube or emailed me or sent me links to possible.
You guys were super helpful.
You
So
were
thank
very
you.
helpful. I'm so grateful to have so many people who are willing to jump in and offer suggestions. So um, I did end up hearing a couple of days ago from a lady in the UK named Patty who sent me pictures of what she found in her stash, and she has 4 of the exact same color that I need.
Oh,
So
cool.
in her own stash, which is
Wow.
wonderful.
So
So
she's gonna sell it to you?
she's sending it to me. So it'll probably be a week or 2 before I get it because it's coming from the UK. So
Or like a month.
yeah, for sure. I'm not in a rush for it because I know it's coming and that makes me happy. But I just thought it's really cool, and I kind of gushed to Michael about it yesterday. I was like, it's so amazing that this thing that hasn't been made in 40 something years, someone in our audience, at least one person in our audience, just has some, just sitting in their stash
Yeah.
and is willing to, take time out of their day and go look for it and then send it to me. So
Yeah, it's super
I'm so
nice.
grateful to you guys. You're wonderful. So you should give
How
yourselves a
are
pat on
you
the.
wearing your sweater? What is
Shut up
happening
and
over
leave my sweater
there?
alone. I am look, my boobs are a multi-purpose tool. Like I, sometimes they're a purse, sometimes they're a table for when I'm like eating in bed. Sometimes I just tuck things into them, like this sweater that
That's
I'm
by Hannah
wearing. Like
Fettig, right?
what?
Your
This is
sweater's
yeah,
by
this is
Hannah Fettig.
Featherweight by Hannah Fettig. But no, Breezy by Hannah Fettig. Is that right? This is the one that yeah, Breezy by Hannah Fettig.
I love that you still have the SSK tag
Yeah, Gwen did
too.
it for me. It's got the tag from SSK where for the changing room, the try it on room. So I just wear it in with the thing folded up and it stays in there nicely.
I'm hoping you wash it before
I will. I'll
SSK.
wash it before the next
That's very
SSK.
funny.
But
That's one of my favorite sweaters to wear, actually. I have it in blue.
Yeah,
I
I
should see if
like it a
Gwen
lot.
wants to knit it again for me.
I'm sure she will. It's like endless stockinette. She likes that.
Yeah, when she's back at work.
Um, so yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who offered suggestions or tips or help, or a lot of people pointed me towards FlossTube, and there's also a podcast.
There's a
I don't
couple
know.
podcasts that
Yeah,
people
that are
talked about.
really, really big in the cross stitch world. I did actually add a couple of those to my subscription, so I would go and take a look just to watch them. But
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a chance to do
Sadie
that yet.
used to do a FlossTube
She
podcast
did,
too.
yeah, yeah.
It's
But
very cool.
yeah, so that's what I've worked on. I do have just a couple of small finished things. So I knit a couple of barn raising squares because they're technically finished. I'm counting them as finished.
Yeah.
Uh, so one in this sort of burgundy red color. I have no idea what the yarn is. Can't remember. It was a like a leftover ball, and this is left over from my wrought iron. So this is a Knitter's Nightmare, but I can't remember the colorway name. But I really like this blue. So
Oh.
there's that. I'll knit a couple more. I'm looking. I had another one that I'd started, but I think it was a sport weight because it was knitting up like super dense and it wasn't as flexible. So I pulled it out.
I need to look through my stash tonight to start on those. So
Yeah, they're
yeah.
good mindless knitting too. So
Yeah.
once you get it
We have a
started,
friend who's making a blanket, so we
yeah.
told her we'd send some squares.
And the other thing I finished is ridiculous, but
I love it.
it's something I've sort of just been working 15 and 20 minutes on for a couple months. It's this, there's a lady in Nashville who does these, paint the town by numbers. And so there's a Memphis one, which is the metropolitan area that we live in.
Yeah.
But she's also got ones for Mr. Rogers.
Aw. That's
Um,
probably Pittsburgh.
well,
Or is it like his
it's specifically
neighborhood?
Mr. Rogers.
Okay.
It's him, not a neighborhood. There's some for plants. There's some for beaches.
Are you gonna get
There's
more?
I might, yeah, because I mean, they're well done and they're on like this cardboard, so you know you
You
don't
could
have to
frame
mount it
them.
to anything.
Yeah.
There's some for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Frida Kahlo. There's a lot of different options. So I put the link in the show notes. But
She's on Etsy, right?
she's on Etsy and it's Paint the Town by Numbers. But she does have some that are like city based and some that are more generalized, some that are like pop stars or
So
pop
you grew
artists.
up outside of Memphis. What's up with the flying pigs in Memphis? Because I don't get that.
It's
Is
about
it like a
barbecue.
Piggly Wiggly? Okay.
It's barbecue. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like a Piggly Wiggly reference.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got the tiger was like the university.
Mm-hmm.
That's their mascot.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like finished. Well, this is what mine looks like finished. They're all, you do your own sort of interpretation. It's definitely not, a great work of art, but it's something I did, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's cute.
I did
That
have to
would
go.
be a good. Wheezy talks about doing paint by numbers when he was a kid. That might be a good like Wheezy present. I'll have to see if
Yeah.
there's a Knoxville or Buffalo one.
Um, I think that it was $22, but it comes with the paint, it comes with a paintbrush, it comes with, the canvas itself,
Yeah,
as well as a guide
Wheezy
for
has
how
a
to do it.
birthday coming up,
So, I mean,
so does
it's a
Mama
cute,
Linneman.
like personalized kind of gift. So,
But
yeah,
they
so
will
I'll,
be coming up on a big wedding anniversary soon. Huh?
well, you're almost 40, so it would be 45, right?
45 should be coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
So,
maybe this year, but the following year. I should do something for them for that. My
Every time I
mom's
look at
birthday
this,
is in
I'm like,
September, and they got married in October, and Weezy's is in November. That's what made me think of that.
oh God. And then there's Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I look at this, I'm like, oh man, I need to go back over this area. I need to go back over that area. So I just stopped looking at it, like, because I could do that forever. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's
so that's
super
done.
cute.
It's it just showcases more of my like crafty. I don't want to say ADHD because that's being inaccurate, but like my short
Your
attention
willingness
span.
to go to different things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. So I constantly flip between different things, and I just try to follow my motivation, which is good because Stash Dash ends tomorrow, and I
Yeah.
think I just hit 5,000 meters, and that's as far as I'm going to get. I'm just not going to get any further. So
I think I'm around 20, but
yeah,
I'm not motivated to total. Like, I remember hitting 15 like a month ago.
yeah.
So,
I
but I haven't done a ton of spinning this month. I'm going to actually, tonight, I'm going to start a square, and I'm actually going to start a new spinning project. So,
well, I've been talking for a while. What have you finished?
I finished a pair of socks, and Leslie, if we can ever get it to download, my picture's in the iCloud and it's not downloading pictures right now, is going to put a picture in. So I finished the rainbow socks, and have sent them off to their new home via Leslie,
Mm-hmm.
because she does all our mailing, or well, Michael does all our mailing. He gets it so it's picked up at their house. Um, excuse me.
Gesundheit.
My allergies have been crazy bad this week. So that is what I've finished. And then I also finished on a spinning front. This needs a bath really badly. It's not my finest spinning, but I finished the Nest Superwash Merino in the Love Apple colorway. I was playing with my new wheel, which is a Daedalus Starling XL. And so I was plying on it, but I wasn't. This is on me, not on the wheel. I was laying like vertical on my couch because I was tired and plying
Horizontal.
or horizontal on my couch. Thank you. And plying with it above me on like a table, and my plying was not the best. So I think it'll be fun once I give it a bath. But that's on me and not on the lovely folks from Daedalus. That was me being super lazy. And it plied very, very well. I need to figure out, and I also put the bobbins on my Acreworks Lazy Kate, and it doesn't work real well because these bobbins are huge.
Yeah, they're really tall.
And they scratch the Kate. So,
Oh,
well, it's my it's also because I am afraid of scratching up my newer Kate. It's the prototype Kate that I tested when they first came out. So,
so you have a prototype Kate and a production Kate
yes.
from the same company.
Well, yes, because Aiden gave me I test for him, and then he gave me a new Kate at SSK last year as a gift because he's a very kind person.
I don't remember getting one as a gift. I
You
remember
have
buying
one
one.
already, yeah,
You had one already,
yeah, because I had the one that I tested.
but you already had one.
Yeah, but it wasn't the finished one. He like changed the. Mine has like felts
I'm
on
just
it.
saying, like, I don't remember getting,
You
you know,
don't you
a
don't
hundred
test stuff
plus
a whole
dollar
lot.
gift.
That's because Aiden's my favorite and he likes me more than you.
I
There
mean,
you go.
you do spend more money with him than I do, that's for sure.
I was actually about to order some new bobbins this week. I love Aiden. Aiden's really kind, and I think at this point it's fair to say that we consider him a friend.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
adore Aiden and the whole team there at Acreworks. I've never had
yeah,
a bad experience with anybody at Acreworks.
yeah. And he hangs out with my mom at Spinning Guild when they have Spinning Guild and stuff. So I consider him more of a friend than a random person that I buy stuff from. But I consider a lot of the people that we buy stuff from friends at this point because we've known, especially people who come and vend at SSK.
Yeah. I mean,
We've known them for so many years.
it feels like a community for the
Yeah.
most part. So,
Yeah. Anyway, um, so I was using my older Kate, and I'm glad I did because the dataless bobbins are just too large. And I know with the newer Kate, you can put down like felt washers because Evanita was telling me, and it won't scratch. But I didn't have any of those, and I was being super duper lazy. It's like see above.
yeah.
And so because I could have gotten out my other Kate that you used when you plied at my
Mhm.
house.
The one that, like, I don't remember what company makes it, but it's like a vertical
Alexandria's
thing that
Crafts,
folds
maybe?
out into a triangle.
Yeah, I mean, we bought those like. Do you have one of those too?
Hmm.
I think we bought those back in like 2009.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was one
I
of
don't
our
think that
my
company.
first Kates. It might have
Yeah.
been my first. No, the one I got with the matchless was the first one I got, but this might have been the second.
And my Acreworks Kate works a lot better for like 99%
Yeah,
of my stuff. In fact,
Daedalus, just their bobbins are very tall, very long.
yeah, I use, and they hold like my Sterling XL holds up to 12 ounces, so they're huge bobbins. Um, and where was I going with this? Oh, on the other Kate, I actually used the Acreworks little Tensi tamers
Hmm.
with that to make sure that they stay put, because that Kate does not have a good
Tensioning system.
yeah, whereas the Acreworks has the Tensi tamers and they work amazing. Anyway, moral of the
We are
story.
not sponsored by Acreworks, believe it or not.
Moral of the story is that I'm super lazy, and so I'm not super happy with my ply job on this, but it works. It'll be okay. Um, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
So, and once I get it in its bath, I think because when you wash skeins that you've spun, they look a bazillion times better because the
I like
twist evens
blocking
out.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, so that is done. I'm deciding between spinning 8 ounces of Hello Yarn or um finishing my Hello Yarn sweater spin that's on the match list, or starting a new sweater spin out of some hip strings that I bought.
Do I get to vote? Because I vote finish the one that you're working on already.
Yeah, I probably should. It's just I haven't felt like I've been getting like 15,000 steps a day at work.
Hmm.
So when I get home, I want to be horizontal
Yeah, totally get that.
and not spinning on a traditional treadle wheel. But we'll
Completely get
see.
that.
I went up and down the stairs 10 times yesterday. So carrying books.
That sounds
So,
friggin' miserable. I would need a shower.
I felt like I did because I'm wearing a face mask at work too.
And
So
that
I'm having to
already like
touch my
jacks my
mask.
temperature up because I'm breathing and the hot air is coming right back. I get it. I'm not disputing the need for it. It just does make me hotter.
Yeah. Um, so yeah. So when I get home, I just want to chill, which is why I don't have a ton of crafting done, but I'll be okay.
I feel like we do this, we sort of go through this at the beginning of every school year, because especially it seems like the first few weeks, getting back into the rhythm of it it's not,
Yeah,
it takes time.
it does. And the first couple weeks, I tend to spend a lot of time up at school because I'm
Hmm.
issuing textbooks, or this year textbooks and laptops, like until, extended hours for pickup for people who work during the day.
Yeah.
Or we have like open house if it was a regular school year. We don't have that this year. Or like meet the teacher night. Um, so yeah, I have volleyball on Monday.
Oh, they are doing volleyball.
They are doing all sports.
Oh,
So there will be volleyball this coming week. There's 4 home games that I'll be working, and there's 3 home basketball games this year. Um, I have to watch videos for training, like concussion protocol and,
Oh yeah, the
all,
refresher things you have to do every
yeah,
year.
my first aid and stuff like that. So this weekend I probably will be watching those videos and knitting away maybe. We'll
Sounds
see.
super exciting.
Yeah. Oh, I did crank sock tubes this past week too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I helped a very kind lady, bought the same sock machine, well, similar sock machine, same company, the yellow one,
Mm-hmm.
the Bumblebee, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have an Earhart.
Erlbacher Gearhart.
Yeah, those are not the words that I just said.
Speedster.
Speedster. It's red. It's the red one. And so she didn't know how to use it, so I did a quick FaceTime call with her, and in order to show her how to use it, I cranked a tube. So,
Is it still
yeah.
on the?
No, 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 because I messed up at the end. It got tangled, so it went flying. But it's Kirby Werby.
It's pretty.
I think it was like I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost or something like that. So I had already cranked one and messed up on the first one. And then this was the second one, and I messed up on that too. But I think I didn't move the weight on the other one. So I have to find the first one that I cranked so that I could put it together with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to knit some new Halloween socks this year. I think I have 7 pairs of Halloween socks. My eventual goal is to have 31 pairs of Halloween socks.
I don't have holiday specific
Mm,
socks. I mean, I know you do. I know Amy does for like Christmas. Um, it's just it's not my jam, but you rock on with your bad self.
I love it. But yeah, that's it for me. There's a lot of talking about nothing. What
I
have
mean,
you been
welcome to
reading?
our podcast.
Yeah. What have you been reading?
um, I finished the series I was reading last week. Uh, Sinister Magic was the first one, and then there were two. No, there was one more.
How was it?
It was good. I subscribed to that author, so I'll get updates when they
Oh,
publish
yeah.
stuff. So now I'm rereading a book that I really enjoyed earlier this year. It was part of that. A lot of authors sort of banded together and created paranormal fantasy books that were more geared towards women in their 40s. Like the protagonist was not this sort of young thing. It was, women who were, some had just gotten divorced, some had, just other, I guess, things
Children had
triggered.
left the nest or
Right.
something like that. Yeah.
So it's more in line with where I am in life. I'm not getting divorced, but um,
Age
it,
wise.
sometimes I have a hard time reading books with protagonists that are like I'm at the point now where I'm sure there are exceptions, but I can't read a book about someone who just turned 18 or 21 and is now taking on the world. Like it's no longer believable for me. So I have a hard time reading those. So these are more relatable. So the first is Magical Midlife Madness. I'm rereading that one because the second one came out, which is Magical Midlife Dating, I think. But I just earlier today, I got up really early today. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I was reading a little bit before work, and I got to the point in the book. So the premise of this book is there's a woman. So this is a paranormal fantasy. Um, this woman becomes a caretaker of this house that she visited when she was a child, and the house is magical. Spoiler, but
Kind of like the Innkeeper series.
sort of, yeah, it's
Okay.
got similarities. But so she's exploring the house through these like secret passages, and she comes into one, and there's a caretaker also who's a butler, and he like moves around silently. I don't think he's a vampire, he's something else, maybe a gargoyle, I can't remember. But she comes into this room and it's dark, and the butler guy is there, and he turns on the lights, and there's dolls everywhere in the room. Like it's full of dolls, like all sorts of different like dolls with porcelain faces and the cloth bodies or whatever. And she's like, no, I'm not cool with this. And the guy tells her, oh, this is the house's defense. This is an army. They come to life when the house is in danger. And she's like, oh no, we're burning this down. She's like, I can't deal. Spiders I can deal with, werewolves I can deal with, an army of dolls, I'm out.
Oh,
So yeah, it's really cute. The protagonist has a good sense of humor and a lot of funny quips. So I enjoy it. If you haven't read it, you should.
I haven't. I don't know.
Kindle Unlimited,
Yeah.
if you're on that. So yeah, I found it funny. So I'm rereading that. I just finished The Stand yesterday,
Oh, wow.
which is like, it was almost 50 hours. And I actually don't remember if I've ever finished it before the audio version. Like I've read it. I read it when I
Okay.
was in my early 20s. I mean, it's a long, long book. Apparently, they're making it into a movie. It was a mini series in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Um, which is funny because in my head, I couldn't picture anybody except Tom Cullen, who he has a mental issue. And so he says MOON, that spells moon, but he says that for everything. He's like, MOON, that spells be careful or whatever. That's his thing. He's got a mental age of like a 10-year-old, but
Okay.
he's very sweet and kind. And that's the only actor who I can remember from that miniseries. And but they're remaking it, and is it Alex Skarsgård, the one who was in True Blood, um,
I don't
who
know.
was Bill in True Blood,
Oh,
uh,
I do know.
um,
Wasn't he
is playing
Australian? Isn't he
Walking Guy.
Australian?
I don't remember, but that whole family are actors. Like his dad's an actor too. I can't remember
Hmm.
his name, but his brother was in Vikings. Anyway, yeah, but they're remaking it apparently.
Huh.
Whoopi Goldberg is playing the old woman. Um, there were some others. I was looking it up today on Google because I was like, when did the miniseries come out? I couldn't remember, and I came across this announcement that they're redoing it. So
They're making one of the Terry Pratchett guardsmen into a series.
you sent me that link, yeah.
Yeah, I did. A
I
BBC
don't actually, I
series.
don't think I've read that book, the Guards one. I don't think I've read
Yeah.
that.
So I might have to go back and reread that, or I'll have to see. They were all on Audible for a while, and then I think they got taken off. I'll have to see if Libro has them.
Terry
Um,
Pratchett's great. Like he was
yeah,
so clever and he worked so many like current events into the satire of his fantasy. It was really great.
yeah, it's good fantasy. Um, I am still listening to Clap When You Land. I listened to it a little bit this week at work while I was pulling books on hold. Um, and I also read a new book that was short stories, which is like when I am just looking for, when I'm so tired, like I can't track characters or I can't track plot real well. I find short stories really, really good. So I can just read, 50 pages and then that's all I need. Like
Yeah.
that's an hour worth of reading for me, maybe a little bit less, and that's good bedtime reading. So one of my favorite male adult authors, Reese Ford, has a
Mm-hmm.
series called
Sinner's
is it
Gin, right?
Zinner's Gin? But
Mm-hmm.
she also has a series about a tattoo parlor, and they're both in, I believe, San Francisco.
Yep.
And she released a short story anthology called Another Sip of Gin, and those two worlds collide in a couple of stories, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But also, like a couple of the stories are from like the dog's point of view, dude,
Mm-hmm. The dog's
and
name is Dude.
it just like some continuation of the story. Like there's one where it's 5 years after they were like the original book characters meet. The first one,
Mickey and his cop. I can't remember the cop's name.
yeah. So yeah, it's good. I like that series a lot. It's kind of sad that it's come to a full end, I believe, with this one. But there should be a new one in the tattoo parlor. She usually releases one of those in the fall. So the fourth one in that series, which I think is The Last Brother, should come out this fall, hopefully. Maybe I'll
I've got
reread
all
both
the
of
Sinner's
those.
Gin ones on audio, but I don't think I've read the tattoo ones.
Oh, see, I like it's like 415, Studio 415 or something like that.
Oh
Those
yeah,
ones are
something
actually
ink. Yeah.
yeah, 415 Ink, I think. Those ones are actually my favorite by her, of all her series. She has other series that are
Mm-hmm.
more urban, like paranormal fantasy, uh,
And these are
more
male.
dystopian. Yeah, I believe all her stuff is male. Pretty sure. Um, but yeah, and they're all adult as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I enjoyed that this week. It was nice to get some reading in, um, some adult reading in for sure. And I'm still really enjoying Clap When You Land. It's really good. It's definitely YA. I was thinking, ooh, this might go middle grade, and then the sister who's in the Dominican Republic was talking about how her dad paid one of the local men to not like entrap her into a prostitution ring.
Oh God.
So, um,
I mean,
and now
real
that
life
protection,
concerns that are
yeah,
valid, but it's
and now that protection's gone because her father's passed
right.
away. Um, so it's definitely YA. But yeah, I'm probably like an hour into, I think it's only like a 6-hour audiobook. So I'm probably like an hour in at this point. It's really, really good. I love books in verse. They are, especially her stuff, is just so well written. Um, anyway, so that is what I am reading. So I have a fundraiser kind of sort of going on, an unintentional fundraiser. Last year, I think it was back in December, Susan B. Anderson contacted me and said she might want to use my Hope pattern um, as a kit for her company, which is Barrett Yarns. And that kit actually came out last Friday. And so I told her, because I am trying to get as many books as possible in my kids' hands, that I would donate any of the pattern sales per like profits, minus the Ravelry fees, minus the PayPal fees to buy books for my library. And so that is at $592.76. So
Wow.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
So are you going to put a link in the show notes to where those kits can be bought, or?
I can. I have a link to my wish list because I'm still accepting donation. I accept donations that are purchased from my wish list all year long for my library, but I can also put a link to the kit as well. If she still has some in stock, let me look, because usually her kits sell out pretty quickly. Um, and I don't want to give you all bad information. Um, let's see, kits, because they're such a small company. And it's an old pattern that I originally designed for Make-A-Wish. Yep,
Yeah.
there's still a couple. Let's see. It looks like it's still available in all colors. So yeah, I will go ahead and put a link. And it was just so sweet to have Susan really take the time to choose my pattern for one of her kits, but also to promote it the way she has.
And our show notes are always found at on our website, which is TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com. And those show notes include links to everything that we talked about today.
Yep. Still playing Animal Crossing. Excited for the fall update. That should be coming out soon. Stash Dash ends this Saturday, so I can't wait to see everyone's finished totals. I think that'll be super cool.
That's my favorite part of Stash Dash, and I don't
Yeah.
participate in most of it. I mean, we all know this is Laura's baby, and she runs it. Thank goodness, because I wouldn't. But
It kinda
looking
runs
through people's
itself at
like
this
finished
point.
posts is super inspiring.
Yeah. And then if you have bought books for my library for my wish list, thank you so, so much. My kids are so excited every time. Now they're not. Usually they open the boxes for me, but because of COVID, we can't do that. So as soon as I get them in the system, like they're putting stuff on hold. Like I got a copy of Parked. Someone donated who actually knew the author, which was super cool. And I have 14 holds on that one copy already.
What is it?
So, Parked. It's about it's a middle grade book about being homeless.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but the cover is very like manga-ish. So they're super into like the cover is what's drawing them in.
Yeah.
Because I asked, I was like, "What made you choose this book?" And they're like, "Oh, the cover." Because the system that I use, you know, it's very visual. It's called Destiny. That's our checkout system. And they can see like picture the covers of the books.
Yeah, well,
So
you know,
they're still
whatever
driving.
gets them to read,
Yeah,
that's
I'm totally on board with it. So it's been really cool. Um, one thing that I didn't think about going to, I'm doing like a hold delivery system. So the kids put books on hold and then I check them out to them and then I delivered them to them. Is usually I put books in the computer system and then it might take me a day or two to get like all the barcodes printed, all the covers, like the plastic cover put on, it's stamped. Like everything that I need to do done with it. Well, they're putting them on hold the second I get them in the system. So I have to like really rush and make sure that I'm doing my job, like getting those out as soon as I put them in, like having that dedicated time to do that. Just so funny. Something I didn't even think about.
yeah.
But it's also interesting, like what they're selecting, because sometimes it's books that I never would have thought that they like. Encyclopedia Brown is a big hit again, and I don't think I've checked out an Encyclopedia Brown book in like 6 years. Like I was about to weed them,
Yeah.
but they are. I mean, that was a book series that I read as a kid, and sometimes it's hard to weed books that you have that tie to.
Emotional, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet Valley High, also one. But I did get rid of those last year, I think. Uh, all those books from Leslie's librarian that I inherited.
Mm-hmm. Ms. McFadden.
Yep.
It's funny, she's the only librarian I remember out of any school I've ever been to.
Um, um
And
I
it
know.
wasn't because she was warm and kind.
I was gonna say I know why. Um, the high school librarians were there for forever. Like, it's kind of cool though that I inherited a library that was run by the same person for 30 years before me, and I've been there for 15 years now. Like, and I've weeded almost every single book that she purchased for her book museum. It's so funny because my boss went to school with Leslie, and he said like everyone who went through Horn Lake Middle School says the same thing.
Yeah. She was memorable, I'll give her that.
Yeah, good old Miss McFadden. Anyway,
I think that's all we've got this week. It was very content light, but uh, we hope that you enjoyed it anyway. We sincerely thank our Patreon supporters, those that
yes,
have pledged, you know, to financially support us per episode. We appreciate that. We appreciate anyone who talks about us through word of mouth or on social media
Yeah,
or any of that. You know, you have more options than ever when it comes to podcasts. So
absolutely. There's
we're very
so many
grateful
good
you
ones out
choose to
there.
spend time with us. So uh, I think that's it for now. We'll talk to you again next week. We hope you have a
Yeah.
nice weekend. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.